Well, hi guys. Yeah, this is another update. I'm in the garden. Um, but I just wanted to check on everybody after those crazy storms we had last night. Um, Here we got lucky. The storms kind of passed over us about a little less than a mile from where I am right now. Weren't very lucky. They had quite a few homes demolished and a few businesses. Um, but here, just a couple limbs down. It didn't really affect too much in my garden. Um, I'm just now really getting out to kind of assess everything. But so far, it looks like just a few of the plants have some whiplash from the wind. But nothing really moved, even though it kept me up most of the night howling. But yeah, so far everything's good, and I'll kind of take you on a little bit of a garden tour. I know, 2 updates in a row. What is this? Oh, yeah, and sorry, I'm kind of hungry, so I'm eating my Lebanon bologna. I apologize. I know most people don't want to see you eating on camera, but that's what I'm kind of munching on right now as my kind of snack, since I really didn't eat lunch, and it's, I think, 1 o'clock right now. Alright, so here's a good outside view of the outside garden. Nothing is on the trellis much yet. The scarlet runner beads are just starting to run up this trellis here. So, if you've noticed, they're just starting to climb on this trellis. So pretty soon, this trellis will have all these beautiful leaves on it. And then we have some herbs, some dill, got a little wind whipped, as you can see. And then most of the tomatoes look fairly well. One looks like it's been kind of munched on off the mountain. See what's been eating them. A few of them I know have a little bit of sun damage because they didn't get acclimated enough. Since they were all started in the greenhouse, not all of them got left out in enough sun before I transplanted them. So some of them have some of the sunburn, but some look like they're doing really well. They survived the transplant. And then we've got a few other plants as well. Some herbs, if you notice, growing along through here, along with some lettuces and spinach and kale. I'm doing more companion planting this year. And then these are some cucumbers, and then some cucamelons in the corner. There's 3 that have survived. I'll probably have to plant more and see what they do. But looks like we're going to have a good amount of cucumbers. This is just 1 cucumber trellis. I've got one that I just finished that I'll have to show you guys. And then if you guys remember our squash, crazy squash row. I know, some of them are a little close together. They'll be alright. I tell myself every year I'm going to do less squashes, not as close, and I still make them way too close. They still do perfectly fine. They don't produce as much as they probably would if I had leave them not as close together, but it's alright. And then my zinnias and my bachelor's buttons are doing well. And then I have some African daisies in here. And then I've got some peas, which are oops. Didn't exactly mean to plant those there, but that's okay. It looks like I've got to start weeding again. I got a couple weeds. Like this little guy right here. That's a weed. I don't want him. Yeah, this garden bed looks good, and so does the pea trellis, even though the peas aren't really climbing it like I thought they would. So I'm going to have to, I guess, put some beans or something on it, since the peas really didn't trellis it like I thought. There are some melons, and it looks like some tomatoes in from the compost bin that I've volunteered in there, so that may maybe just become a tomato cage. But yeah, this is the outside garden bed. We have some beans, lots of beans. And then this is a wild columbine. It's a native plant variety flower. I have several around, and this one I just kind of stuck here to give the pollinators kind of a chance to see that yes, there are other plants here as well. And I'm probably going to end up planting more flowers along in here to give the pollinators just a little extra to play with. But still got some space for tomatoes. You notice I haven't planted all of them through here yet. But I have so many tomatoes, I've started putting things everywhere. Yep. Didn't exactly want to show you the lawnmower. Oh well. But yeah, this is the outside garden, and now let me take you to the other half of the garden. Alright, time to go in the garden. This rain barrel has fish in it to keep the mosquitoes out. Won't know really until this summer how well it's doing, but we'll see. And then these new garden beds here and there are going to be herbs. This one's already got herbs transplanted into it. We'll see if they come back from the beating they took with that storm last night. And then these are strawberries that have been in these containers for the last about 2 years. So they are producing some good sized strawberries now. Hopefully I get a good little harvest off of them, even though there's only like 3 plants. And then this is a table queen squash. I'm doing something new this year. I've got a couple more of these buckets, and I'm attempting to plant them in kind of spots that higher up, and letting them kind of drape down with a lot of the gourds and the squashes that aren't going to go on the trellises. So we'll see how they do. But let's take you in. And yes, there's a bell there, a bell here, and a bell there. These 2 side bells are for my nephews to play with. The bell that's on the gate is so if I open, I know the dog has gotten in here again. And yes, he can open the gate. Crazy dog. But this trellis right here is our newest addition. This one is the cucumber trellis. It was a request of my nephew. Was super excited. He was wanting to be able to walk through cucumbers. So this is essentially his walk through cucumber trellis. So I cannot wait until we get this full of cucumbers so he can walk through it. But right now all it's got is one small little plant. I don't know if you guys can see that here. One small little plant that we transplanted, and then the rest of it has been seeded with direct sown. So we'll see how they do. And then I've got some companion plants that I've put in here with them, some spinach. I haven't put anything else in here yet. I'm kind of waiting to see what I'm going to plant. But I also have some carrots that are in this other bed, and then I have some more tomatoes. I know, tomatoes. I'm literally got tomatoes in the yard at their playhouse. I've got tomatoes stuck there. I've got squash stuck on the other side of this greenhouse because I was running out of space. Let's just say I kind of overplanted this year, but it may be a good thing with everything that's been going on. Yeah, so let me show you some of our carrot beds that pretty soon we're going to have to start picking. Okay, so this is the carrot bed. We have some carrots that they ended up being the smaller variety, the really skinny carrots. I didn't plant the larger carrots like I thought I did. So let's see here. Here we go. Here's one. So they end up being this kind of skinny variety of carrot. But it's not super fat. It just kind of does a skinnier variety. Uh-oh. Doesn't want to focus. Hold on. Focus. No. Focus. There it goes. Focus. Aha. Okay, so now we have, you can see this. These are the smaller variety. They've been perfect for kind of making salads and kind of chopping them up into kind of whatever. But hopefully this next batch that we planted over here, this one is the larger, fatter variety. I somehow mixed up the skinnier variety and ended up planting a whole bunch of them. They've been in the ground since about January, February, so they've still got about another month before they really take off and do really well. And then these guys that are here, I stuck on the outskirts of this bed with the lettuces, kale and squashes and Swiss chard, and I think there's some spinach in there. Those guys will harvest probably about June or July. But we'll see. But this kale, you can tell we've been picking on it. It's got quite a few leaves that we've eaten already. It's about time to pick another set of them to put in a salad. They're actually really good. I just don't eat the spine. I just take the leaves off the spine, stick them in the salad with some lettuce and a little bit of Swiss chard and some of the spinach, and it's actually pretty good. And then this bed is my nephew's. It's for them, and they've planted some cucumbers and a tomato in here. And then because it was from our compost bin, there's volunteer tomatoes coming up like crazy. And then they planted some cilantro as well. And then here's the potato bed. I cannot wait for potatoes this year. We have a beautiful array of potatoes, and I'm hoping they do beautifully, because the leaves on them are just gorgeous. I've already mounded them up again for I think it was the third time now, so we'll see. I may be able to get one more mound since I've still got a little bit of space left in the bed. But yeah, they're doing beautifully. Well, that's kind of it for the garden tour today. I'll show you guys more of what's in the rest of the beds and the rest of the yard later. But hope everybody was safe during this storm, and bye guys.